them apart, but now they're together. They're two wacky gringos in all kinds of weather. When it's sunny, they're funny. When it's rainy, they're zany. They're two gringos who sometimes do bits.
We're on the air. Hi, good morning, after evening, noon, everybody. I'm Patrick.
Hey, everybody, I'm Mike. Good to see you again. And first thing I want to say is heartfelt congratulations to a friend of the show, Al Stefanelli, who has made it out of surgery, and we hear doing well. So
Good job.
I hate to use that cliche, our thoughts and prayers, but really our thoughts and prayers with you, Al, and hopefully everything will be fine in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully everything be great. Another fine example of a community pulling together.
Absolutely.
You know, they had to put together a little financial help for all the medical care and stuff. And
people are bringing over food. And I just want to say, not for Patrick's sake, but for mine, if there is excess food, you can bring it to me. I mean, I will always eat the excess food. No, I'm just kidding. But hopefully people are volunteering, bring things over to Al, who is the Walter Cronkite of Boquete.
He is, man. He's the go-to guy for the straight dope, the facts,
the most trusted man in Boquete.
That's right. I trust him. Yeah. I gave him my PIN number, my social security number.
Don't trust him that much. Are you out of your mind?
Oh, what? Okay, all right. Well, how's the rest of your week going, Mike?
You know, it's starting to get a little tough. I mean, I have to admit, you know, there physically, I put a poll on Facebook. I don't know, I'm feeling like aches and pains more so. I just, you know, I don't know if it's mentally, emotionally, just not being able to socialize and do things, and just feeling crappy overall. How about you?
Wow.
How about you? Back to you.
Oh, I don't feel crappy overall, but you know, just I had a thing happen to me this week that really highlights the difference between living in Boquete, in Panama, out in the country, out in a small town, as opposed to living in Los Angeles. You know, I'm on my way into Lowe's the other day, and there's a homeless guy out front, and he asked for money. And he didn't have a mask on, by the way. And I said, no mask, no money. No, I'm kidding. I didn't say that. I just said, and you know, I was being flippant. I'm walking by and said, sorry, Chief, I can't help you. He said, what did you say? What did you call me? I said, and I actually pulled my mask down. I'm sorry, Chief, I cannot help you. Put it back up. And I'm at least 20 feet from this guy. He says, oh, okay. I thought you called me sweetie. It should have ended right there, right? Being the smart mouth I am, I put my mask back up, I said, okay, that too. He goes, oh, fuck you. I'm going to fuck you up. When you come out, I'm be waiting here for you. I said, okay, great. I went in, did my business. I even told the guy at the counter, you know, there's a crazy homeless guy threatening people. Guy goes, oh, he's back. He's like a regular. I'll take care of it. Finished checking out. I went outside and he was gone, you know, and it wasn't a big deal. It was a small deal, but guess what? That never happened to me in Boquete. So far, since I've been here for 4 weeks, I heard and witnessed part of probably fatal pedestrian car accident. We had an intruder in the backyard and trying to break in the house next door. I had the guy at the place hassle me. I mean, just can't wait to get back to beautiful Boquete, where everything is groovy.
Well, we have a guest this week, and fascinating to me because this person living now in Boquete, but went back to the United States and has since come back to Boquete, and I'm fascinated how she did it. So why don't we bring her on
let's
and
do
talk
that.
to her, one of our favorite people.
Ladies and gentlemen, here she comes, Ms. Vanessa Ferguson. Hi, Vanessa.
Hi there, how are you?
We're doing
We
good.
are great. We just gave you a little intro. You're one of our favorite people here in Boquete, and we're kind of fascinated because, as you know, Patrick was in Boquete with Gabrielle. Now they're in Los Angeles. I am here in Boquete, and you are one of the rare people who you were in Boquete, you went to the United States, and you came back to Boquete. So
Yes.
we're kind of fascinated. First of all, Patrick was telling us about things that are going on in the United States. And I have, what the hell is going on there? It's crazy. This sounds nuts.
I wish I knew. It's awful. It is. It's discouraging to even think about. So, Patrick,
So- I'm sorry, what, Vanessa?
I said, what's your take on it?
My take is that we're going through what people don't seem to realize, a very serious pandemic, and the consequences are life-changing and they're permanent. People talk about, well, getting back to normal or the new normal. You know what? I think the word normal should be just eliminated because it's not going to happen. And people are tense, especially, I don't know, Vanessa, if you just found this in New York, but in the city, people are tense. People seem to get angry quickly. Now, not everybody is that way. I have had mostly nice experiences with people, but it's.
Did you find that, Vanessa, in New York? Did you find that there's like a higher level of tension even for New York City, which I'm from also, as you know?
Yeah. I got there on the 19th. So New York was just entering like the epicenter status.
Yeah.
Status of being the epicenter of it in the United States. So when I got there, I stayed in the house because I was like, I don't know what this thing is. I don't want it, so I'm staying away from people. So I would go out maybe once a week for groceries and things like that, but I didn't go far from where I live, so shortly before I came back here, I started to kind of venture out a little more. The people that maybe 60% of the people I saw were wearing masks, Others were kind of vocal about, why they were not wearing masks, for no reason. You don't know them and they just want to tell you that it's a hoax and it's not airborne and blah, blah, blah. And, I'm not wearing a mask and blah, blah, blah. So the few people that I did run into, most of them didn't seem that tense, but there were a couple who were really intense about not wearing it, So just kind of an interesting situation.
I suppose if you pepper sprayed those people and then said, a face shield would have prevented that. Yeah, that's probably not a nice thing to do. Vanessa, I want to find about you, Vanessa. What do you do? What did you do? What are you about and stuff like that? Answer the second question first.
Second question first? What did you say? There were like 10 questions in there, so I'm just going to answer them in the way I remember. So what did I do? I am a recovering human resources professional.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah. So anyway, I don't know about that, but yeah, recovering is good.
Yeah, that's the excellent part.
Yeah. And what else did you ask me? So I'm from New York originally, from Brooklyn.
Right on.
Yeah, Brooklyn. I spent the last 26 years or so in Harlem. So I kind of claim Harlem and Brooklyn. Where are you from? Harlem. But then if you dig deeper, I'll say, I was born and raised in Brooklyn.
Right on. Cool.
Yeah. And so probably like around 2018, I decided that I didn't want to work anymore. So I started to try to figure out how I could retire on the money I have. So I got here in Boquete through one of Jackie Lang's Panama relocation tours.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I took her tour in, I think, late September into early October. the last day of the tour, I met Rachel McMaster, and she showed me my apartment. Rented the apartment the last day of the tour, went back to New York since I had already like quit my job and did the early retirement thing. And I was like, all right, so since I'm not working, let me just come to Boquete. I like Boquete. You know, I like the rest of the places. We started in Panama City and, you know, kind of went through the countryside. Panama City was too much like New York for me. You know, I like to go there every few months and just visit and whatnot, but I don't want to live in another New York City type place.
Yeah, it's just a big city. Yeah.
Yeah. And the beaches were a little hotter than I want right now, you know? So when we got to Boquete and I saw all the green and, you know, the cooler air, I was like, okay, I think this might work. So I decided to rent for a couple of months, you know, since I wasn't working, see if I liked it. And then if I liked it, you know, go home, pack up and come back.
Cool.
So, yeah.
Well, Vanessa, I want to tell you, I was so far ahead of you in the, I decided I didn't want to work anymore in 1973. Okay. Now I graduated high school in 1972. So I was like, I don't want to work anymore. You know,
And his parents were not happy.
They were not happy. No. And as it turns out, you just can't stop working. You actually.
Exactly. You know, you might need a little bit of prep. So.
Yeah.
Vanessa, was Boquete always first on your radar, or did you have other places in mind to check out?
No, so in general, when I first started thinking of where I could go and live on the money I have, you know, I looked at Colombia, Costa Rica, Ghana, and Boquete. Well, not Boquete, but Panama.
Panama.
So, yeah. So Costa Rica and Colombia, you know, from what I hear, it's a lot more crime. And I heard that Costa Rica is a little bit more expensive than. It
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I kind of crossed those off the list. Right before I came on the tour, I went to Ghana for a few weeks and just kind of visited around to see if I would want to live there.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I liked it. It kind of it almost felt familiar, like I was home or coming home to someplace I'd never really been.
Really?
But it was weird, you know, interesting, but like, wow, it's just interesting. And interestingly enough, I stayed in the mountains in Ghana. So to go from the mountains of Ghana to the mountains of Panama is like interesting as well.
I see.
Yeah. So, you know, I didn't feel, I don't know.
Okay.
I just, yeah.
Patrick, ask your question. The one question you ask all the time.
Okay.
Am I rambling?
No, that's good.
No.
I'm going to ask you about Ghana in a minute, though, because that sounds interesting. But I do have a question for you, Vanessa. Okay, so of all the things you learned, right, when you moved to Boquete, just pick one thing. Tell me one thing that no one told you about and you had to find out on your own.
That's the question.
One thing, okay. This is such a small thing, but they don't sell half and half here. You can't put half and half in your coffee. I did
not know that. Who is it?
Half and half. Oh wow!
Can't find half.
You know, it's funny. It's funny because we're always, when I say we, Pilar, my girlfriend, and I, we're always laughing at these Facebook questions that people ask. Gringos usually ask about, you know, can you do this? Where do you find this? How do you get this? You know, and so today I have been cooking like crazy during this pandemic. I mean, like I never cooked before in my life. I mean, I'm not a real foodie person, but I've got an Instant Pot. I'm making, you know, you just put on YouTube, there's like 1 million recipes for Instant Pots, desserts that you don't have to, you know, do any fancy cooking with, you know, you just, they call them dump and go, you know, you dump stuff in the Instant Pot and you just turn it on, you know. So I saw a YouTube video for cobbler with three ingredients, and one of them is a can of cherry pie filling.
Okay.
So I turned to Pilar and I go, Pilar, do they have cherry pie filling in Panama? You know, and It's like, well, what do you think this is? You know, a country that doesn't have anything, you know? Like, you know, like, well, as it turns out, yes, they do have cherry pie filling because she brought me home a can of it, you know, and now all I have to do is make the darn cobbler, you know.
You know what else you can't get? And at least I haven't seen it. Cottage cheese. Cottage cheese is not a thing in Panama.
No, I think they have a different kind of cheese, but not. Yeah, I don't think they have cottage.
Yeah, they have like a farmer's cheese or something, but it's not the same deal. It's not like cottage cheese what you're used to, you know.
Yeah.
But and you know,
there's a lot of things you have to get used to here. You know, like some of the dairy products are a little higher in price than you would think, but so many other things are lower. Like you want to buy vegetables, you know, it's like, hey, buy. Yeah, this is $2.
Yeah,
like that's $2. Are you kidding?
80 pounds, right?
yeah.
There's a guy outside of that sells fruit on the main street in town. He sells 7 bananas for $1. You know, which I was like, wow. That's kind of, you know. And I'm sure if you bought, I'm not telling you to do this, but you know, if you're like 7. Okay, how about 8? You know, like it was.
And what are you gonna do with 8 pounds?
At the end of it's like we throw them out to the birds at that point. You know.
Yeah, unless you're really into banana bread.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Banana bread, banana pudding, banana ice cream, everything. Oh.
Yeah. You can't go. You can't. There's no shortage of banana and banana type products that you can create or have. Well, real quick, Vanessa, I wanted to ask you about Ghana. I know a couple of people that tend to go down there, you know, from time to time, have business down there and stuff. Is there an expat community there?
There is. I don't know exactly where it is, but I went to one of the museums, and they had a little office off to the side that has like an expat community headquarters almost. So, but I never actually met a lot of expats. So I didn't find the expat community, but I've been told that it's there, and I did see that little office off to the side.
So they're so old, the expats, that they call it a museum where they meet?
See, that's how rumors get started.
I could see doing that here in Boquete too. It's like we could call the BCP the museum. You know, I got to go to the museum.
You're going to get in trouble.
Not saying there's a lot of old people in Boquete, but hey.
Yeah.
We're all old now.
Just have like a plaque on them, you know, that tells their history. You know?
You are awful. That is terrible. I'm telling you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, you know, it's kind of strange. You don't, I don't think of myself as old. When I was 20, I thought of people my age as really old.
Yes. Yeah.
And like the homeless guy that hassled me, you know, I'm used to homeless people being older than me. And it took me a while to realize, wait a minute, I'm older than that guy. You get a job, you young punk.
Yeah.
That's what I should have said to him.
But wait, what about the first time someone called me ma'am? I was like, whoa, wait, what? So
yeah.
That was kind of a wake-up call. Like, oh, ouch.
Yeah.
Did you get all defensive? Like, who are you calling ma'am?
No, I was so shocked I couldn't say anything. I was like, oh, I think I went home and cried. No, I'm kidding. But you know what else makes you feel old? When you realize that you've known someone for like 40 or 50 years. And it's like, those high school reunions, oh my goodness.
Oh, I don't do those.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I stay away from those.
As a musician, I played in a band, and I played a 50th high school reunion. I mean, this is years ago, but I remember looking at those people going, oh my God. And I remember because the head of the party kept telling us to turn it down, you know, like, and the leader of the band was like going, we got to play lower. We have to play lower. I'm like, I can't play any lower. I don't know how to, you know, I'm barely I play the drums, hitting the drums, you know? So now I'm looking, when is my 50th high school reunion? You know, 2022. You know?
Wow.
Wow.
and maybe we'll be able to travel by then. Like, who knows, right?
Yeah.
Well,
who
how did you
knows?
make it back? Talking about travel, you made it back here, and you know, I hear many other people want to come back, but they don't
They
seem.
cannot. One
You know,
must,
it's no. Go ahead. You said one must what?
I was going to say, I think one must have residency. Must they not?
Yeah. So I got my permanent residency on March 2nd. And I
Right.
went home, I went back to New York for 2 reasons. I went, one, because I had a high school reunion, right?
Ah,
And the second reason was to pack up the apartment and make the permanent move here. But 3 days after I got back into New York, the borders in Panama closed. So, and then, all hell broke, the epicenter and all that stuff. But so I had a few domestic, like commercial flights rather, to come back to Panama. Those kept getting canceled every time the border got closed, right? So I decided to I called my immigration lawyer, and she said, contact the Panama Embassy in New York. So I called them, I got one response, and then, the woman just fell off the face of the earth. I never heard from her again. So I decided to try the embassy in Washington, D.C. And there's a number, I called the main number, they give you a number for emergencies. I was like, look, I need to get home. So to me, this is an emergency. So I called that number. I got a human. She told me what to send her. I had already sent this information to New York. So they wanted your name, your contact information in the U.S. and Panama, your passport number, your ID number, or scheduler number, whichever one you have, and a couple of other things. So I had sent that to New York. So I sent it again to DC. She put my name on a list. I got a call from her saying that they had a flight going out of Mexico into Panama. But I was like, I don't want to go to Mexico and maybe get stuck in Mexico.
Yeah.
Right. So I was like, I can't take that flight, but please leave me on the list. Don't take me off the list for not taking the first available thing. So then about maybe a week or so later, she called. No, she didn't call. She emailed and said that there was a flight leaving out of Miami. First come, first serve. So and she said, if you get a seat, email back. So I got on the phone immediately, and I was checking my email obsessively. So it's a good thing, because I might have gotten frozen out of that flight. But called COPA immediately, booked the flight, and then I sent her the information about the flight. So she sent me back some papers that I had to fill out. It's like an affidavit, almost saying if you catch COVID on the plane, you're not going to blame the Panama Embassy.
Oh, wow.
Like that. But filled out those papers, sent them back to her, and I had to bring them with me to the airport and give them to the people at the airport in Miami. So that's it. I missed after contacting the New York Embassy and not hearing anything, I missed the June 10th flight because nobody got back to me. By the time I called COPA, first I called COPA, they said, well, we're not taking reservations for that flight yet. I didn't hear anything. They took my name and information. They were going to call me. 3 days later, I called back. I said, listen, I haven't heard from you guys. Oh, the flight is full. So I was like, so it was kind of a roundabout thing. I started this process in May, and then I got on the July 11th flight. So
Wow.
that's kind of how I did it. But they did ask me, the woman in DC who was very helpful, did ask me to send her a copy of my permanent residency card. So I guess she wanted to make sure that I really did have permanent residency.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
Well,
Yeah.
that's an ordeal.
Yeah.
It was a
So,
long process for you
I
to
did
get back
follow
here
up.
into Panama.
Right. Once I missed that June 10th flight, I did try to follow up with her a couple of times, just like, hey, is anything come up? Just like, hey, keep me on your radar. But the
So
plane
it took about a month from that flight to
Yeah.
to the flight that you actually made. Wow.
Yeah. And the plane was packed. So, I'm
Really?
surprised that, it was packed. There was no middle row empty or no.
Oh,
It was-
really?
Wow.
But people had masks on. People had masks,
They-
right?
They were strict about the masks. All the flight attendants had on like plastic overcoats, and they had on, these plastic shower cap things on their heads and their masks. So, and they were walking up and down, making sure you had your mask on. So
Wow.
they were not.
Well,
We're here in Boquete. People are obeying. Are wearing the mask, and every store you have to go in, they take your temperature, and You know, some of them have that thing that you have to step in. Most of them have it. You have to step in the disinfectant, and you have to wash your hands with sterilized whatever. And you know, I'm very happy to do it. I'm very happy to comply. And but still, I don't know what's, you know, this is such a crazy virus that rates are not necessarily going down quickly. It's gonna take a long time for this thing to subside, I think.
Yeah,
You know,
I think
Yeah.
so.
scary.
That's
So I hear that and I don't know, I haven't really delved into the numbers, but I hear that even though more people are getting the virus, fewer people are dying. So I don't know if that's encouraging. It sounds encouraging.
I think the
Like-
death rate is
Yes.
slowing a bit. I think they're getting better at treating it. They're getting a better handle on it. I think that's a big part of it. They're starting to
Yeah,
understand.
but it also sounds like not here, but in the United States, it sounds like the healthcare system is, especially in the South and West, is, you know, like close to breaking. You know, it's near the breaking point.
It is. It is.
And that's what's scary, is that as we continue on, and you know, they talk about the next wave, there's going to be another wave, and who knows what the impact will be on the society, you know, or how many things are going to break down. I think I'm very happy being here in Panama, because I you know, we have food, we have, people are obeying, wearing the masks. You know, it's
Yeah.
when you go into town, it's not a total ghost town, but you know, people are not just hanging out, and you know, there's no bars to go to or anything like that. So
Yeah,
we
you
don't
can't
have,
be casual anymore.
Yeah.
You know, I seldom go out. I did go out yesterday. Saw a friend of ours. We stayed outside 6 feet apart on the porch. If we had to go inside for anything, we wore our masks. It's, you know, you have to be careful. You have to be paying attention all the time. And yeah, the governor here is probably going to order another stay-at-home lockdown order in the next day or two.
as they should, I believe.
The rates are going nuts.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
So is it true that in Panama now you have to wear long pants to go to the stores and closed-in shoes? Or is that a rumor? I haven't been out yet because I'm still in quarantine.
I have not heard that, but I mean, it's possible. I don't know.
I had heard, in fact, while we were still there, somebody had said that about Costco. They wouldn't let you in. However, I know several people who have gone in their same casual gringo attire, you know, sandals and shorts and.
Well, that's one thing about all these rumors, and we mentioned Vanessa. I'm sure you're familiar with Al Stefanelli. He underwent surgery today, and we saw before we started taping that it was successful, and he's fine. But he certainly you know, makes everything clear and understood, you know, from all these rumors. And I don't know about this particular one, but they're rampant. I mean, there's so many, and not just rumors, but questions. You know, is there going to be another set of rules where you know, we can only go out for certain hours or things like that? You know, who knows what steps the government will take? But I'm really happy I'm here. People are really obeying, and I feel very safe here. So that's good.
I can't agree more. I could agree more. I'm going to agree more. It is very safe there. It's great there. Definitely, that's the place I'm looking forward to getting back to.
And they have cherry pie filling. Like, who knew?
They
right?
do. Yeah,
and apple pie filling, and they have other pie fillings.
I've seen it at
You
Peru
have all
and
the
Romero.
pie filling you want. If you want pie filling, this is the place to be. Really. There's I don't like lemon. I don't like lemon pies. You know, but there's lemon. There's strawberry.
You like pineapple pie?
Pineapple pie. No, I love pineapples, but I don't know. I have never had it in pie form.
It's delicious that way. Hostess used to make a pineapple pie. You know the little Hostess pie?
Oh God, those Hostess fruit pies. Oh my God, they were like, that was.
And I've actually made my own pineapple pie filling down there, so it's easy to make.
Yeah.
But pineapple is good on top of cheesecake.
Yes, it is.
That's true.
Yes.
Very true. Very true.
And some people like it on pizza.
That's a very controversial point there, you know.
But for New Yorkers, like, I don't know about the pineapple.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I like pineapple on pizza and I like ketchup on a hot dog.
Ketchup and mustard, onions. Yes.
Onions, yeah.
People in Chicago go ballistic if you talk about ketchup on a hot dog. It's like, it's
Really?
a hot
Oh,
dog for crying out loud. Shut up.
At some point in every show, I think we end up talking about food. I don't know why or how.
Food
It's
is-
just, we could be talking about, very serious subjects, and then it's like, you ever put
Food.
ketchup on a hot dog?
Food is universal.
You put
Yeah.
ketchup on pizza, now that's where I draw the line, okay?
That's just sick.
That's sick.
But you can put
Shut the
bacon on
front-
everything.
You can put anything you want on whatever you want. It's a free world.
Bacon.
Yeah.
Do you guys like bacon? No?
Bacon?
I despite my religion, I love bacon. I have to admit, I love
Well, you only eat the kosher bacon, right? I mean,
the kosher bacon. Yeah. I buy a tremendous amount when I go to PriceSmart, which Patrick mentioned before. I hightail it to the bacon department, as I call it.
it reminds me, I almost took a picture. I saw a confusing sign the other day in Tarzana. It was two signs, but it looked like one sign. 99-cent store, ultra kosher. It was confusing. 99-cent store. I didn't know it had to be kosher or not kosher. Is this a kosher 99-cent store or not? Do people ask that question?
I never thought to ask, but it would be very comforting for me to know that the 99-cent store is kosher.
Ultra kosher.
It's been ultra kosher. Yeah.
It's been on your mind, I'm sure. Well, if I get by it again, I'll take a picture of it.
Actually, if
Vanessa?
it's really kosher.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, what'd you say about kosher? You said something
The
about
99-cent store was ultra kosher.
Yes.
Ultra kosher.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
But really, if a thing is kosher, it's kosher. There's not like ultra kosher or,
Sort of
super duper-
kosher, kind of kosher.
Yeah.
Welcome
or partly
to
kosher.
Discount
kosher
Cells,
is one
kind
thing
of
I watch.
kosher. And
Kind of, sort of kosher. Well, it is like the delis. Some of the delis in New York, they're kosher style. Kosher
Oh,
style
really?
means not
Oh, that's-
kosher at all.
That's a good way of getting around that whole thing. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
So if you want to know, is your bacon really kosher or is it just kosher style bacon? You need to get somebody in to check it, right?
yeah.
Or is it ultra kosher?
Ultra.
Ultra.
The new
How do you-
kosher.
Ultra kosher, I would wonder.
Well, you have it checked by 3 rabbis. That's
Ah.
one way.
Okay. All right. Hey, listen, kids, we're running out of time.
Let's
So then
don't send in letters and and
My one
you know.
question for you guys: what
Go
advice
ahead.
would you give a newbie to Boquete? So even though I was here a few months, what advice would you give me? A quick piece of advice as a newbie.
Don't believe most of what you hear and listen to Al Stefanelli.
Okay.
I don't consider you a newbie. You are a performer. You've been in our shows. Vanessa's a great singer.
Oh, man, she channeled totally
Thanks.
channeled Pearl, Janis Joplin. Yeah.
The best advice anybody can give anybody anywhere is just be yourself. Be yourself, right? And I think we have to wrap it up.
We do, because our time's about to just poof, go away.
Ooh.
Vanessa, thank you so much for being on the show.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you
Delightful
for
to
having
see you again.
Yes, likewise. I'm looking forward to when we can get together in person.
In person.
Absolutely.
A shiny golden day will be here soon, I hope.
Yes.
All right, kids. Well, you have a great week, okay?
Yes.
Stay safe.
Everyone.
Yes.
And yeah. All right.
All right.
Adios, amigos. See you all
Adios.
very soon.
Adios.